Hello, everybody. My name is Austin Trombley, and I'm a cinematographer here in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the new Arri Alexa 265 and why it's so great and why I think it's kind of going to change the film industry probably for the next few years. The first thing I want to talk about is the size difference and why I think that is going to be a game changer, because they managed to fit a 65 millimeter sensor, which, if you can see from what I'm putting on the screen right now, you can see the size difference between the 65 millimeter sensor, the mini LF sensor, and the 35 millimeter sensor. I have an Alexa Mini, so I have the 35 millimeter sensor that you're seeing there. And in this pretty much same body that I have as the Alexa Mini, they managed to fit that 65 millimeter sensor into it. Okay, so they're pretty much the same size and weight, and that 65 is like fucking probably 3 or 4 times bigger than my 35 millimeter sensor. If you work in or around or know the industry of film, that is actually crazy because it's such a big sensor. I couldn't even imagine taking the lens off the mount and just seeing that size of a sensor in that body. That is just actually crazy to me. But the biggest thing is, if you know Arri cameras, they have the Alexa 65, which they made probably 15 years ago or so. And it has that same 65 millimeter sensor, but the thing's huge. I have a picture that I took actually when I was at an Arri event, which is like actually really close to me, it's just down the road. I was at an Arri event. I'll put it up right now in the video. I took a picture of the camera, of the Alexa 65, and the thing is massive. It's like a studio camera, right? So it's big and it's heavy as fuck. And for the longest time, that was the norm of 65 millimeter cameras, you know what I mean? Digital cameras. Now that they just unveiled the 265, which is the same size as my Mini, which is way, way, way smaller, way, way, way lighter, and they have that same sensor in it, or an improved sensor, I should say, but same size. That is crazy, and I think that's going to be a huge game changer because it's a lot more versatile, it's a lot more efficient, and a lot more people are going to be wanting to use it because they're able to put it anywhere now. There's a few different things I want to kind of point out and just I have some specs up here, so I'd love to just kind of read through them. Obviously, the 265 shoots at 6.5K, and so did the older Alexa 65. Okay, so the regular Alexa 65 is like 23.2 pounds, and the Alexa 265 is 7 pounds. That's the difference in weight. So another thing I kind of wanted to go over just quickly is that it has a higher dynamic range. So I mean, I know one thing, it has a little bit more stops and a little bit more range than the Alexa 65. Got 15 plus stops, and I think the original Alexa 65 has about 13 or 14. And I know, like, I think also one of the biggest things I want to touch base on is the native ISO and the sensitivity capabilities. So I know for forever Arri's, native ISOs and EIs have always been 800. Well, that's always been the standard. And that's what my Alexa Mini is. It's 800. But I know the 265's native ISO is actually 1600. Because this is also huge because it gives you a lot more detail in the shadows and the noise floor. So, you don't need as many lights. So you don't need as many things. You can shoot more, I guess you would say, guerrilla style. And so that's kind of my whole take on this whole 265, is that it's becoming more user-friendly, it's becoming more efficient, more easy for people to use them, and you can just kind of, get one, start recording, and everything's going to look pretty. You don't need to, shape light in as much. You don't need to worry about your IRV and your exposure as much, which it's a bit weird to me because I kind of, have been taught very meticulously how to properly, expose. So I think these cameras are becoming so technically advanced that it's a bit weird, because it's kind of taking the magic out of it a little bit for me. Because when I kind of got into film, it was always like, what makes something so good is lighting and perfectly exposing something, and that's kind of the magic of making movies and magic of making something look so damn good. With the newer technology, it's becoming a lot easier, more viable, which is a bit scary because, again, I just don't want it to lose that movie magic feeling. There's a reason why some things look so fucking good compared to others. And there's a reason why not everybody can do it, because it's the making of a movie and it's a magical thing, and it's a very creative process. And I think it kind of separates, good DPs from like just regular videographers. And it's just like when you have the newer tech coming out like this, and they're getting crazy sensors and have such high range and higher native sensitivities, it makes it more like anybody can just pick it up and start filming, and it is what it is. I still think this is going to be obviously massively popular, and I think there's more pros than cons out of this camera. Obviously, like, it is such an efficient camera now. I think it's going to blow up because of all this. It's becoming, like I said, more efficient, easier to use for productions, and that's awesome. So it's cool to see these technological advances. And I hope one day I can just get on set and use one, because I know obviously they're not going to be available for smaller sets and stuff like that for obviously a while. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, just leave them down below. Please subscribe, like, whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Peace.